Final Fantasy VII Crisis Core was a prequel to Final Fantasy VII and released on September 13th, 2007 for the PlayStation Portable. Losing out in sales to the Nintendo DS, many people missed out on what a great experience this game was. Whenever I mention the game Crisis Core, many fans of the Final Fantasy series do not know what I'm talking about. And now that Tetsuya Nomura, the director for Final Fantasy VII Remake, is stating that the compilation of Final Fantasy VII is not canon, even more of its relevancy is being lost. And honestly, I feel some of this is likely due to disdain for Hajime Tabata, who took over the development for Final Fantasy XV from Nomura, as Nomura wasn't getting that game out anytime soon. Regardless, here is my case on why you should play Final Fantasy VII Crisis Core and why it should still be considered canon. Crisis Core is such an emotional roller coaster that must be experienced. Zack Fair is easily my favorite protagonist in the Final Fantasy universe. A big part of all of this is how invested you become in the story. You feel for Zack through his highs and lows, laugh when he laughs, cry when he cries. The relationships that Zack makes are all believable.
There are some truly incredible pre-rendered cutscenes, and the intro pre-rendered cutscene truly stands out from the rest.
Even the in-game cutscenes are done really well, which also do a wonderful job of transitioning you into and out of battle. This scene here sticks out especially well in my memory.
Can I call you back later? I have some company. Don't keep your guest waiting, she says.
Don't forget about the soundtrack. This game's composition is easily a 10 out of 10 for me, and another big part of getting you excited for battle. The game really takes a metal approach to music, with battle themes that you'll be banging your head to as you slice your way through enemies.
Just listen to this music. Doesn't it just get you amped?
However, there are also other songs that bring the intensity back to calm your emotions or bring forth a sense of sadness depending on what's going on in the game. Running around in the church in the slums and listening to the music that plays there is one of my fondest memories of the game.
Moving on from that, I want to talk a bit about the dynamic relationships between the characters in Crisis Core. Cloud and Zack's fleshed out relationship is a joy to watch play out, and the two characters play off of each other very well. This scene between the two of them had me laughing at the camaraderie of the nature of their conversation. It feels like these two have been friends their whole lives. Then there's the dynamic between Angeal, Genesis, and Sephiroth. It's all really interesting. Things can get confusing at times, with a complex plot that can be hard to follow, but Crisis Core really helps you understand why Sephiroth is the way he is, and in a way, you almost start to feel bad for him. Seeing how he was so much like a normal human being before his transition into a cold-blooded killer is so jarring. The plot does create some inconsistencies within Final Fantasy VII's story, and this makes complete sense as Crisis Core was released after Final Fantasy VII. There are some characters that made an appearance in Crisis Core that do not make an appearance in Final Fantasy VII, and the reason for their disappearance is unexplained. Cicene, as an example, is one of these characters. Minerva is also an inconsistency that conflicts with the concept of the life stream. Now, with the remake, there's an opportunity to fix these issues, which is why I think Nomura should heavily rely on Crisis Core as a prequel, while making the necessary changes to fix inconsistencies in the plot that Crisis Core may have created.
Don't just write it off as non-canon, as there are plenty of good things that came out of Crisis Core which significantly outweigh the bad. An interesting approach that they could take if the game was considered non-canon is to put in sections where Zack is playable in the remake, but I still think they should heavily rely on Crisis Core's plot regardless if the developers were to take this course of action. What did you all think of Crisis Core? Did you think it should be considered canon? Have I made a good case? Let me know what you think in the comments below. And as always, guys, subscribe to protect your honor as soldier. And I will see you all in the